OMG, I'm so excited to talk to you.
I'm gonna screen record if that's cool.
Yeah, of course. And you know what's weird is every time I screen record when I'm on a live, it never picks up my voice. So on your replays or whatever, if you can, I'll tell you. But if you would want to send it to me, I'd be so appreciative.
All right.
Because it never works. But look. So I'm sorry. I've been the last couple of years, obviously, you know most of this, but going through all of the trauma and addiction and all the things and being fucked up all the time, like literally. I'm coming out of all of that and being homeless basically for 2 years, and I've had an apartment for a year, moving out in 2 weeks to a different apartment. So my brain is a lot more clear. Sorry, I just heard all those people outside my window. That scared me. It's like 4:30 in the morning. Anyway, so I don't know some of these things I may have told you before. I don't actually even remember if I've ever been in your tiny box.
I don't know if you have been in my tiny box.
But I was like, oh my God, I want to talk to her so bad without feeding the reeds. So I have a cool story that over the last couple of years, because you're my first, right? You were the first person ever to tap into anybody for me. With that and the popsicle, say, hey girl, with the sticks and everything. So I asked you if I could do kind of my own thing on that. And I strive for 1,000 followers for the longest time. I got them authentically after a year, and I've still never, not once, gone live on my own ever. But anyways, so you gave me something that nobody else will ever give me in my life, which was cause I had that, I need that part of my daddy issues to be healed. And so I just want you to understand how much I appreciate you as a person and a beautiful soul that you are.
Thank you.
Yes. Anyways. And then also it's as time has gone on, obviously, I think, long story short, I'm not good at those. Sorry to kind of talk too much. Tell me if I do too much too.
You're good. I'm going to cut my camera just so I can smoke a bowl real quick.
You're great. Yes. Devil's let's go, girl. But so I've known that there's been a connection with spirit world since I was a child, and I couldn't ever pinpoint it. It's just this would be a whole long ass thing. So it's a really cool story if I could tell it to you ever, but I don't want to take up too much of your space. But that's why for a long time I shut it completely out. And then when my dad passed and stuff, I found TikTok a little while before then, and it was I wanted that to occur naturally, for if he was going to talk to me, because I'm the oldest. And so I always felt this he'd only just ask about my siblings to me, or I was not worried about, so to speak. Not that he didn't love me, but you know what I'm saying. So it's just I don't gotta worry about you, Kelsey. You're blah, blah, blah. So, and he's also the oldest child too. But I was when he wants to talk to me, it'll be the right person, right time, right place. And so that's you.
Yeah, we all three definitely vibed for sure, because
yeah, but it gets deeper than that. Is I realized that the very first spirit, and I know now, I don't actually have vivid memory of it, but I saw my grandmother, my dad's mom, as a child, and that's what made me not fuck with. I couldn't watch spirit scary movies. I could not do spirit stuff. I can't watch. You know what I'm saying? I could not do it for a long time, because my grandmother died when I was before I was 5 years old, and I had a picture next to my bed, and I just remember only just sobbing to my mom as a child about how much I missed my grandma. I'm telling you this, I don't remember. I have no memories of my grandmother. None. I don't even know how much I saw her, because we lived hours away from her. There's been validity and confirmation with finally having conversations with my mother, who's, taking me some gentle talking to her about how Christianity relates to spirit and prophets and and for her to actually tell me I remember you coming to me at 10 years old, crying about I told her that I saw her. Straight up told my mom that. And I don't remember telling my mom that I saw her. I was thinking I was 5. I guess this was going on until I was 10 something. I like, I don't remember any of that other than just crying to my mom about how much I missed my grandma. And that's all I remember is like a child. That's it. Like, what was the whole connection to her? Because I know that I never really interacted with her. So I think that's what it is. So like, I have a thing with grandmas. The grandmas, they just love me. Everybody else is great. Sorry, am I talking too much?
No, you're good. I'm getting messages as you're talking, and yeah. Anyway, um,
So I still yet to hear really from anybody what I'm really kind of hoping for and what I'm being more open to because I've been closed off to it. I'm cool. I'm glad, and it helped me heal a lot to connect with my dad. But my dad, he charming, pushy ass motherfucking man.
yes.
And he just like, if I could play you voice messages from him, he exactly the way you see him, be like, is she gonna talk to me? Hello, you gonna answer your phone? Why doesn't anybody answer their phone? Come on, babe, what are you doing? What? Hello, I'm here. Call me. I'm sitting here, not doing much, It's exactly how he is. Exactly.
Like right now, every single time you talk, I always feel him behind me with like his hands like on my shoulders, kind of, just kind of like, just, like
he loves
got it,
you.
just yeah. Every
You're
fucking
the
time.
vibe for him. Absolutely.
Um,
It's just that he's been the only prominent energy, and I think I'm finally ready to start. I'm moving in a couple weeks, and I haven't felt completely safe in that safe place yet to open myself up completely spiritually to go back to that place that put me into that mode as a child, because I needed to do what was best physically informed to stabilize my earth experience for me and my son. So now that that's been over a consistent year, and I've tackled lots of things like with my trauma bonding and addiction stuff, and you know what I mean, and like building my credit, et cetera, et cetera. I'm getting to that point where like I understand that that's necessary because they've been telling me for a long time, but I was always just too fucked up to try and deal with it properly. And I don't want to go into a space like that in that mode because I think it'll ruin it for me. I know it would.
I started seeing this image of you, and it was in front of a mirror, and there was a lot of like glamour magic going on, even if it wasn't like intentional, like from a witchy perspective. It was healing, and there was a lot of the basic affirmations, but it got deeper than that because I started seeing you having a conversation with
Can you
yourself.
tell me what color the mirror is?
There really wasn't like any specific color. I
You
just
don't
saw
see a shape or like the frame or
it
nothing.
looked just like a small, just rectangular, like those ones that open up and have the like little cabinet thing on the inside that you can see.
Yeah, I bought one of those just specifically for TikTok, and I like barely ever open it.
Yeah, it looks like about like that, and like it opens up. But it looked like standing there, kind of having like a bit of this like existential crisis within yourself,
Oh yeah.
silently, just like standing frozen, but like having this conversation in your eyes, like looking at yourself, really like seeing yourself for this time vulnerably. I'm seeing like, okay, cool. I'm seeing this image of like you were like going through this new place,
Telling.
and there was this act of like intentional, whether that's like cleansing, whether it's just like picking up things, nesting, like that sort of thing, and then going into this mirror and having this conversation and kind of like getting to this place of acceptance, like I did this, I got here, I deserve this, and almost like having it hurt,
Yeah,
like
for sure.
seeing that you can actually be capable and deserving of something, and then feeling like almost like this, like I'm like just montage of memories of all those things and feelings of where you felt the opposite.
Bro.
And so then like kind of having this breakdown moment where you're just like mourning everything you feel like you could have been if you hadn't experienced those things.
Yeah.
All that hurt that you now carry because of everything that you had been told about yourself that was a fallacy.
And that's where all of this is coming up right now. And it's like, damn, I just pulled myself out of this hot ass mess energy of myself. And it's like, I know it's necessary, obviously, to be the best version of myself for my son, to be you know what I mean? And be able to teach him things so that he doesn't have to, he doesn't have to, but, hopefully help him and not have to experience some of that, or at least have somebody that can listen to him. Because, like, how the hell did my mom never tell me my whole motherfucking life that she potentially probably thought I was a schizo or something and hearing voices?
Yeah.
Like, I'm 38 years old last week, and she's telling me this happened when I was 10. And it's like I'm showing her, like, all these things, and I'm like, I have a trunk, you know? And she came to visit me finally in my apartment. And I had all these boxes that were at my ex's house that were on the porch because he used to throw my shit around when, like, he'd get mad at me sometimes. So I kept all, like, my memory, you know, my Christmas ornaments and pictures and stuff. Some of that I kept out in, like, the covered porch area. So it's like what I've been doing, like, at this apartment is slowly unboxing all of these photos and things of, like, my family, because I never really, as a narcissistic relationship, you don't really get to, you know, you get segregated from that part of your life. And so it's like 99% of my family is dead now. And Riker, my son, will not really ever be able to, like, connect with them. But I was able to put up pictures and things and, like, get my Christmas ornaments, and I can touch something that I'm going to tell you, when I was 17, I would not have even known who it came from because it's not labeled. But now I can put it in my hands and know exactly who the fuck gave it to me. So I'm rewrapping all of these things that were given to me by my family. And it's like healing and also making me, like, messed up on the inside, but it's not also like I'm not dealing with it at the same time either, because
Right.
it's like I don't want to get too deep into it to not be able to have executive dysfunction.
Right. Right. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I felt.
Because I've been sitting on my floor in my apartment for the last 2 days until today, staring at all these motherfucking empty boxes in my living room. And it's like, I know I have to box all of these pictures the right way, because when I was 17, I just threw all that shit in random boxes. Like, I can't do it. And so it's like I'm staring at all these pictures and things that I've pulled out, or decorations. And it's like I just can't fucking wrap them and put them back in boxes, bro. I have
Do
to,
you
though.
have any like or have you ever had like altar spaces built before?
I haven't really, no, because when I started with TikTok, I was, like, basically in my car or in my ex's basement, or hiding, like, to listen and stuff, or late at night in the bathroom and stuff, or everything was out of boxes and bags for like 2 or 3 years of my life, and or in storage. And so up until this apartment, like I said, I have, like, this, my cable to hook up to, like, my cable modem is in the most random spot in the middle of this hallway. So I put this little shelf, and then on that, I put, going through things, I put a collage picture of my dad that I made a long time ago. I have my Riker School picture. I have my mom. I have my grandparents, that both my dad's parents, picture of me and pictures of me and Riker, and, like, some, like, creepy ass trolls that are from, like, Norway or something that my grandparents, they gave to me and one they gave to my dad. And I have those, like, set up. So that's about as altar-ish as I've gotten.
I'd suggest in your new place setting up an altar space and making sure that it has, I'm hearing to say, a glass of water, a mirror, a flame, and no pictures of the living.
Okay, hold on, make sure that my face. Okay, so I'm gonna show you. This is what the intention was. So, like, I set up this specific corner for my spirit area. So it's a desk. It's the first time I've had anything all of it out of storage, but it's in all my tarot decks and my popsicle sticks, all the things, my lights and all that stuff. And then, here, I'll flip you and reverse that. Oh, hi, by the way. I don't think you've ever seen me in person. So that's my dad's thing, Riker. My mom just got her college degree at, like, 68. These little troll things. Sorry, I'm sharing way too much info. And then, like, these are my grandparents. That's my grandmother that I'm Maxine. And then, you know, and then I did this thing with, this is my dad. I've just been, like, framing photos that weren't framed. And this is me. Look at this. This is crazy. This is my father. This is my child right now.
Dang, oh my gosh.
I said,
That's
Riker,
so crazy, like literally
who's that?
having like
Who's this? He goes, that's me. I said, no, babe, that's Grandpa Craig. He's never met any of these people. I told him one time ever, he likes to go look at Snapchats. And he's like, that's your dad, Mom? I said, yeah. He goes, my grandpa? I said, yep. He goes, I didn't meet him. He's just turned 4. I said, no, you didn't get to meet him, but he wanted to meet you very badly. He died when you were about 6 months old. He goes, he died? I said, yeah. And this is how I know, in the first time ever in my whole life, that somebody actually gave a fuck about me and loved me. He looks at me and we're in bed and he touches my face. He goes, are you okay? I was like, yes, honey. I told him my dad's name once, my grandmother's name once, my grandpa's name once. And he remembers all of them. Every single time he comes here and he looks at the pictures.
Weird. Oh.
Also, he looked in his closet the other day and he was like, kept looking in it and like saying something. I was like, what the hell are you doing? There's a vacuum in there. I was like, what are you doing? It was right after he learned about all these names. Wonder what he's doing. Talking to somebody over there, I was like, not ready yet.
There was this one time I was talking with my mom. We were hanging out in the living room, and my son, he was in the bedroom, and I was on the baby monitor. I could hear him crying, and I kid you not, we were sitting there, and we could hear something like consoling him over the baby monitor. And we were all in the living room talking together, and so we were like, what the heck? And we just, like, it sounded like someone humming and going, shh, 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 shh. And we're like, is it just, like, static of the thing? And, like, no, like, there was no sound to it. And we're going in there, and as soon as we walked in, like, he wasn't stirring anymore. He had calmed down, and every single time for maybe, like, good 1 or 2 weeks, every single time we would try to, like, lay him down, and he'd start crying like that and fussing. He'd just start calming down as soon as anyone would, like, we'd be in there eating, and then I'm just like, oh, okay, I gotta go get him, and then he'd start to calm down automatically. I'm like, that's gotta be my great grandma, because she's like, she's a baby person, and I'm like, she's just in there making sure I'm getting taken care of, and I'm getting to eat, and she's like, let me take care of the baby. You go ahead, I got this.
I used to, so David, Riker's dad, Riker and I slept in a room, and I had one of the motion sensor monitors. David slept in the other room, because he was working second shift at the time. So it was like he'd wake up at like 1:30 in the afternoon and get home at like 10:30. And then he'd spend all night in the basement smoking or whatever. And so I'd wait till he goes to sleep. Then I would go to my friend Teresa's house. She lived like 2 blocks from me. And I would watch the baby through the baby monitor because David's there and the baby's sleeping and I'm listening to him. And it's a motion sensor, right? It only would go off if there's noise or moving. I shit you not, it was like the grandma that lives in that house where David lives and Riker lives now. She would move to my bed to tell me to go home. My bed, baby. My bed, baby. And we'd be asking her questions. She'd turn all the way around, like play toys, everything. At that house, at my friend Teresa's house, there's a grandma at her house. It's like all the grandmas, they love me.
Is there any specific questions that you have for anyone in particular that you want to reach besides your dad? Because
no, I don't want to. I really just like love him, but damn.
I keep hearing I get it, like same faces. I'm hearing also like eventually like you get what he's got to say. He's always going to come through and say, you know, like things like he loves you and things like that. I'm hearing you to say like when it's really important, when there's a specific message, like maybe of like a warning of something that might be coming up or something like that, like he'll know, like he'll show you and tell you things in ways that grab your attention more than just, you know, like the regular pop in I love you type of messages that you probably get even if you don't even realize those are messages you're getting just from like feelings or memories or shit that comes up. But I'm hearing to say like pay attention, don't brush off every message because you're like, oh hi dad, like there will be
I talked to him. I've been seeing things in reflections for a long time too, like when I used to sit in my car and stuff, or in like, you know, the bathroom and like through mirrors or through windows. I swear to you, I constantly see spirits in people's driver's seats through the window of their car all the time.
Ooh, give me chills. Okay.
All the time.
Like I said earlier, with your altar space, make sure that you're, when you add your mirror, you create some sort of like sigil for yourself for you to lock it. That's personal. I know there's on TikTok and stuff, some people like share sigils and stuff, but I believe in like either creating your own or having them made specifically for yourself, because if they're on TikTok and anybody can use them, like you have really no clue what energy anybody can really fucking add to that shit. But anyway. And I like my first couple weeks into that, like I was like meeting people and like I was like bound to a spell, my name was on it in wax and all this shit. I was like, what the fuck? I didn't even know. I was like, what in the hell? It like immediately.
And ironically, it was like, I think the day before you connected to my dad that I found out, and it was like, it was a big day. It was 11/11 portal 2021.
Overall, I feel like specifically with your like abilities that you've had for like being attuned with the dead, things like that might come forward more now, whether you remember the dreams when you wake up or not, more in your dreams. But I feel like I'm hearing you say over the next 2 or 3 years, as you become more like what is the word they use? Spiritually attuned to your abilities with less judgment and fear. Like those things sharpen on their own. It's not even necessarily things you have to like sit down and study every day. They just
Yeah.
your skills are honed, you know.
Not like understanding the difference, because lots of times I'd be like, am I just drunk? Or I'm like, is that there? Or did I just not sleep? Or like, am I
Right.
exhausted from the baby? Is
As
it
you're
the
taking more
part?
care of yourself, some of those questions are obviously not going to come up if you're like if you're not, using different substances the same, or you're
Sure.
eating or sleeping differently. Like all of those immediate questions, they're going to be like, okay, no. So I definitely know I'm not fucked up. So yeah, that's definitely going to be a lot more like reassuring for yourself in developing those skills and abilities, because you won't constantly, I mean, I'm not going to say that the question am I crazy will never come up, because
Oh,
it
sure.
will. It will.
Yeah,
But
when my mom told me that though, that I told her I saw her at 10, I literally I like happy teared in. I started to kind of cry, and she's like, I didn't mean to make you cry, because she's got lots of things she needs to fix for her too. But like, I was like, no, thank you for not making me feel crazy finally. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because she wouldn't tell me that unless it was like a real thing. And it was all I needed to know, that like I'm not just a nutcase, I guess.
it's so crazy, especially like generationally. There's so many people who will experience the same exact thing, but not say anything about it because they're afraid to be crazy. And then there's always there's been like, whether it's like attachments or specific spirits or like whatever, whether those are like, a spirit, whether you want to call it an angel, a demon, or whatever, or like a lost spirit, someone who's passed on. Um, they'll literally describe seeing and experiencing the same exact things, almost word for word, and it's kind of fucking scary sometimes. The way that like some spirits and some entities will they will just keep coming back like fucking roaches over and over again if people don't like deal with certain cycles and things like that, and especially if like, I've seen some attachments, where people were dealing with things like addiction or different, just shame shit. A lot of betrayal wounds. Oh my gosh, seeing
Yeah.
some attachments from betrayal wounds, they get ugly, nasty, deep. But yeah. Anyway, I'm just
Okay, so I'll try to. I don't really have a question per se. I love my family, and I know that obviously, like, I have spirit guides of my family that are connected to me. I'm more kind of interested now in a different entity, any type of other entity, or an ancestor, if that makes sense. Somebody that's like not like just a generation removed, per se. Like,
the first name I hear, I don't know if like a lot of people feel some sort of way about this, but the first name I hear is working with Hades. And if I don't know if deity work is something that you've ever been interested in, but especially if you're interested in things like mediumship work and things like that, and it's more about like Hecate is really nice for like developing those abilities specifically and like working with your shadows so that you can like work through, your insecurities and your fears around that. But Hades, in my particular experience, there's been a lot of building confidence, empowerment, and self assurance. Like you're not fucking crazy because you're experiencing this just because someone else doesn't experience it, and their opinion isn't gonna rock your fucking opinion of your lived experience. Because that's where we start gaslighting ourselves, and then we literally okay, that's when people like literally start to go insane. Like they will go.
so can I ask a dumb question?
So,
So is Hecate like the feminine equivalent to Hades energy? Is that like, is that right or no?
wait, what?
Did you say Hecate? Hecate?
Yeah,
Is she
I
like
mean,
the
I guess
feminine?
I wouldn't really equate the two, really. I mean, I don't really think you can. Personally, I believe that all deities, all energies, all entities, all living beings were all one fractal of a thing. So, I mean, ultimately, it's just another version of Hades. So, I mean,
Sure.
you could look at it and resonate with like the female equivalent to that energy, sure.
Would you
Um,
say? Santa Muerta is also on that playing
I
field.
don't know anything about that, so I could
Okay.
not speak
And
on it.
I asked because I've had several past life readings where like I feel like I'm especially connected to indigenous culture and past life stuff, but like also that's another part of like this stuff that I'm not
Yeah,
dove
I have
into.
no clue. And as a white person in this life with
Yeah,
no
right, for
education, I
sure.
refuse to speak on it. I would
I
direct
get
you
you.
to an indigenous person who does this
Yeah,
work. But
right.
I don't particularly collab with anyone or network with anyone who does that sort of work. If
I just know
I
you're
do
super
find anyone,
knowledgeable on
then
like
I will let you
general.
know.
Yeah.
But I would say someone who would be maybe a little more knowledgeable than me in that realm of things. What's her name? Mama Sunfire. She's on here. She's extremely knowledgeable. I really trust her information. She's studied. She's been initiated into different practices. She mostly focuses on hoodoo, I think, if I'm
Hmm.
not mistaken. But yeah, she would have more information about other things like that than I would, and I'm not
Yeah.
gonna pretend like
Yeah, I
I
don't
know
want to like.
everything.
I'm not saying like I'm not saying like going to seek out working. And I just it's just like it was a general educational type question.
Yeah, yeah,
You just seem like you know lots about like like the facts and again that kind of
yeah.
thing. So
Um, just that's not my realm, not my thing.
I got you.
But yeah. Um, is there any other specific questions or anything like that before I flip any final cards, get any other messages, and move on to the next reading?
No, I guess okay. So maybe just like whatever just comes out for like a specific type of energy. It's like I'm open to light and dark. I just don't know if I don't know how to recognize if they are reaching out to me or if I should be reaching out. I don't know how to like. Hey,
Okay.
I'm Kelsey. Nice to meet.
So specifically, I'm going to tell you not even to focus on deity work right now. Don't
Yeah,
even. I mean,
I don't
you
think I
can if you
can.
want to, but don't let that take up the forefront of your mind right now. Focus on your shadow work. Keep
Yeah,
focusing on your shadow work. Hecate is automatically like tied with shadow work and doing that sort of inner child work, that deep self reflection, that hermit mode energy. So you're probably just going to call forward to her anyway. But specifically, if you want to work with Hades, I'd suggest with doing simple things like working within your energy system, understanding your energy system, because you're going to be activated. You are going to understand what different energy activation feels like before you're able to actually comprehend what the fuck is going on. You're
sure.
going to start activating more like Kundalini energy awakening, which is very intense. And it's something that a lot of people literally start to get kind of scared of and sort of back out of because you start to experience changes in your life, in your mindset, in your energy, in your words. You get frustrated with yourself at different parts of your Kundalini awakening because it requires so much evolution and so much self reflection and so much honesty. And most people aren't
I don't even
capable
know
of
what
that.
that is, to be honest. Is that just like an even further step into like shadow self stuff?
Yes, and okay, you don't even have to worry a whole lot because I'm
I
legitimately
know it's
like
far in the future. Actually, I know that it's going to be a while before I broach that probably because I have to get.
honestly, it probably won't because I'm making a lot of content. Like literally, one of the things I was supposed to be doing tomorrow is working on some of the content for doing some more like actual healing work. I haven't had a lot of content like this posted because I've been depressed in my own hermit mode, doing my own growth and my own evolution. And literally tonight, I was like, I'm ready to make the content on it. So you really won't have to wait that long to get some guidance on it. Not to mention, I just started a group mentorship program again yesterday. I'm literally getting the content added tomorrow and getting the price set up again. So like I'm gonna have more content that's gonna help. Like you'll see it pop up on your For You page in divine time. You know how it works, and
Yeah.
so you'll see that shit and you'll get that guidance. And especially since I know you're at that phase where you're doing that work and you're trying to activate that energy and you're trying to make those changes. I always have my viewers who are trying to do that work in mind. So you'll get those messages that are for you too.
You
Oh,
did email me like a long time ago. You emailed me something like I won like a contest or something. To be honest with you, I've still not even opened that email. Like I just was like I knew I couldn't yet because I was like I'm gonna get so far deep into that and like I'm a Taurus, so it's like I had to like the foundation like things, and I know that that's not the way that they want it to be, but it's just I have to for Riker and my son. So
no, I mean
and
everything happens like for yourself. You know when your mind, when your body, when your soul just can't take on that extra shit right now. There's so many times where people will apologize to me because they're like, "I'm so sorry, I couldn't do the homework, I couldn't watch your content, I couldn't book the reading," because they know it's going to activate them in certain ways. But I'd much rather not have you fucking give me money or give me your views because you're not in a place to do the work like that. Because forcing yourself to do the work in certain ways can harm you more than help you, and that's not what I'm here to do.
Yeah, I used to ask you all the time about the mediumship things, and it was like wherever you were at. This is forever ago now. It's like wherever you were at the time or something. I don't know. It just was. I was like, the reason why this is not happening, and I know specifically with you because you were that first person for me. I was like, it's not matching for us, you and I, because it's not supposed to happen right now for me. And I don't mean like you're my whole whatever, like you were the reason why I go blah blah. No, it just isn't going to be something confirmation wise. And this conversation actually is a lot for me in itself because I've never actually spoken to you or you've never seen me before. So that's cool.
Overall, I keep hearing to tell you, you're about to do a lot better than you realize, and things aren't going to be as hard as you think. Things have been very hard lately, and things being easier becomes hard because we start to expect things to be difficult. And when we expect things, we expect obstacles, we expect complete opposition, we expect that lack of support, we expect the neglect from people, we expect the lack from the universe, we expect the brokenness. Those sort of things are what we pay attention to. And you're about to be forced to see that you can experience more than this. And there will be times where you literally find yourself on the floor in gratitude, hurting, and also so joyous because
Yeah,
you are mourning and you are receiving at the same time.
that's all this what I've been doing is like I don't know if you saw in the background when I was on the camera, all these boxes and shit is like that's exactly where I spend all my time is Indian style sitting on my floor. Like for real.
You know, though, I just watched this video of Miley Cyrus and she was like, you know, when you just you just turn off everything, no TV, no music, no radio and phones and shit, and you just cry. You just let yourself feel. And it's so uncomfortable and it hurts, but then the next day you feel amazing. Like, I feel like that's gonna be some real good medicine for you. Like, you know, like just really, I see the image of you just literally like in a ball on the middle of an empty floor. Like, there's no furniture in the room even. And you're just like, just in a ball, like crying. But it's like, it feels so good. Like, you feel so seen. You feel
Mm.
so felt. And it's like, I think so many people, like, we search to be seen, to be felt, to be heard, to be understood from someone else, even though that's not even what we want. We think it
Mhm.
is. We think it is because someone else has ears and we have words to say. We think someone else needs to hear them. It's not. It's you that need to hear them.
Yeah,
The
it's
words that
the
are on
for
your soul.
yourself. Right.
I'm hearing to say like you're gonna say something like you know when you get upset and like you're a little kid and you're like and you're like you're saying those things and you can't even get them out.
Yeah.
You're about to hear some of the things that you have not been able to get out and you're finally going to be able to get it off your chest. And you might even I'm hearing to say experience. I'm hearing a hit of shame and then
Mhm.
relief
Yeah.
because you're like, oh my God, that's the root cause. Oh
Yeah.
my God, I did that to me. Oh my God, I said that to me. Oh my God, I believed that for so long. And
Mhm.
almost feeling this like, it just fucking, you know,
Yeah,
just the
that
fuck.
ego girl.
Yeah, but I feel like ultimately, like I'm in the astral right now, and I'm preparing that future version of yourself. I'm sending you energy for peace and for calmness and for ease in that transition emotionally and mentally and spiritually, because you're about to be activated in some ways where I'm even seeing like your body like kind of like just fucking. I don't know if you've ever watched Kundalini awakenings, but they can be intense when you
Mm-mm.
let your body just feel what it is. Like your body, all that trauma that is stored in there will literally try to shake and release itself.
Yeah,
So it's
I
literally
don't
like
really honestly
fucking
even know what that is. Is it like when people go do like the spirit retreats and that kind of things happen?
sometimes, yeah, like that kind of shit can happen. And I will say this, sometimes it can look scary. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes it can look scary. And sometimes there's sounds that come out of the body. There's, crying and snot and drool and everything else and just all these things that are purging. You are going through a soul level detox. And don't judge it. Don't judge it when it happens. Especially like you got your own place. There's nobody watching you. There's
Yeah,
nobody
right.
watching you.
Yeah.
Get
I
yourself
can.
some water, get yourself a napkin, some fucking tissues and shit. Prepare yourself for the tears.
I'm gonna need it like a tarp.
You're and like and here's the thing too. I don't know like how much of my old content you used to watch when I was teaching about like somatic therapy and stuff like that, but it's movement of the body to release that energy that's there and just Trust that your body knows where that energy is stored and it needs to move. You know, whether you have music on or not, you know, just let your body move and do what it needs to do, because you're going to feel where that energy has been stored for so long, not just from your traumas, but from those before you. So you might not even understand why it's stored there. So don't judge it.
Yeah, for sure. Like in like ancestral tie type stuff, right? Like I don't know.
But yeah, I'm seeing the image, final message here. I'm seeing the image of when this happens, like you, like I'm just seeing laying kind of on the floor, almost like even holding this like little retreat for yourself, you know, like, you know, those images that you've seen where like somebody laying out and they got all the crystals around them or whatever. Like, I don't feel like you're even gonna have all that shit, but in your mind, you're gonna like see that, right? And just imagine like somebody laying over, like sitting over you, even if you have to, like imagine me, okay, sitting there, Reiki. I'm sure you've seen some of my Reiki videos,
Yeah.
over the body from the head to the toes, from the head to the toes. Calming energy, grounding energy. Feel into, like lay on the floor on your back and feel into your back, all your muscles soaking into the floor, and just let that energy move through your body.
Okay. Shavasana yoga pose.
All right.
I appreciate you having. I know that's not really a reading, but like that's what I
No,
was.
like it is though. That's what you needed to hear. That's what it was. You got what your soul needed. That energy too. Like it's being sent to you through the astral. It will continue to be sent to you through that moment of discomfort, because it will be uncomfortable.
I appreciate you for letting me come and speak to you
You're welcome.
in your space. I'm
I
going to disconnect
appreciate
from.
you. Thank you for trusting me with your energy as always. And I look forward to seeing you in the next read.
All right, babe. Thanks.
Peace.